Creativity, inspiration, and overall well-being is part of the creative process in content creation. And as most of you have heard a lot of times, they say that content is king. And this demand pushes more and more creators to be interesting, relevant, and timely. Content that is interesting, relevant, and timely creates that unnecessary stress or demand that eventually blocks our creative flow. That creative flow that is very crucial when you are a content creator. I have discovered that when I am there at that threshold of being stressed out and being blocked, my creative flow is not really that fluid. I tend to limit myself. I tend to box myself too much. And for me, that is the ultimate recipe for me to be unable to create. When I limit myself or box myself, my critical self, my inner voice, tells me such things like, "Shut up, Joy, no one is interested with what you're about to say." Or it could say, "No one listens to you anyway, so just rest, why bother?" Or there are more podcasters and content creators out there that have better content than you are. And I've observed that if I give in to these limiting beliefs, to these limiting thoughts, then I'm also preventing myself to be creative. And at the end of the day, I know all of these things, all of these negative thoughts are assumptions. So I agree with what Jordan Peterson said, that if you are a creative person, the ultimate sin that you could commit is to not create. But what is creativity anyway? Creativity is being able to create, perform, and think of ways that hasn't been done before. So how can you do that? You have to tap into your own abilities, to your own gifts, so you can think of new ideas, solutions, and approaches. It's like seeing the connection of two very different things and maximizing the relationship of those different varying ideas. So if you limit yourself or box yourself, you're stopping yourself from being that creative self that you truly are. If you resist or box yourself, then eventually you will experience all of the frustration, all of the desperation, all of that anger and confusion that blocks you from becoming your own true self, from becoming who you truly are. Let me emphasize the part where I said that creativity involves tapping into your own gifts and talents, your own. It is like giving yourself that hall pass or that permission slip to create content that comes from a beautiful space inside you. Imagine if you tap into your own strengths. Imagine if you have a list of all of your gifts before you even create your content. Wouldn't it be nice to imagine and see how you would be able to be flowing and truly in that creative zone before you create that content? It's like giving yourself that permission to create a mistake, to mess up, because you know that it is part of that process, of that flow. And eventually at the end of that flow, you will create content, or you will create something beautiful, authentic, and effective. That's how self-discovery plays an important role in creative people. The more you know about yourself, the more you're able to be fluid and to be in that creative zone. Imagine if you do not know more about yourself, how can you be able to create content that speaks from the heart?